guys, so with the previous video that I uploaded on SLA, there were information from Alpha to inform us about on what is potentially happening between Kane, of course, to us having to, I guess, resort to using Suon in terms of getting the hard version of the Workshop Brilliant Light completed. Now, with all of that, I am going to kind of go through a build video just to give you guys a little bit of a helping hand. I have really pushed for my Suon now, which is something which I would already suggest for you guys to do, just in case if they do commit to not providing kind of that, you know, that defense pen, of course, because if that is the case, then Suon will be the DPS for the fire element to manhandle, I guess, the hard element for, or sorry, the hard typing for Workshop Brilliant Light. So I'm just going to go through the build, your options, and yeah, just all that good stuff, give you guys a little bit of a helping hand. Now, with all of that, before we dive on in, a few things I've got to get out of the way. 1,000 essence coupon codes if you are a current supporter of mine. If you check your inbox, well, not your actual in-game inbox, but like your supporter page inbox, you should have a coupon code for 1,000 essence. So if you guys do want to support your boy, that would be greatly appreciated. So we've got 1,000 essence codes going out, and we are, well, I'm now going to be completing this next mission, and with this next mission, I'll be able to give out Skill Rune Premium Chest Volume 4s and 500 mana Embedded Fabric. So we'll get that one out the way just quickly. But again, if you guys want to support me, again, very much appreciated. In 2-3 days time, we're going to pick the Deluxe Pass giveaway. I'm considering giving away some raid up tickets for my supporters maybe tomorrow, so stay on the lookout on that. I'll probably drop the video after I come back from work, so there's that. But again, if you guys do want the 1,000 essence or just more codes or enter the giveaways that I'm going to be doing during this week, again, for my supporters, you're more than welcome to enter. And yeah, grab yourself a ticket to some, I don't know, prizes. But in terms of with this mission, SoloLevelingArise top 3 iconic scenes. Bet. Oh, I already know who I'm going with. Hold up, wait a minute, we're going to be cooking. So the first iconic scene from the game that I am going to be picking is, of course, Vulcan. Honestly, this was one hell of a scene, purely because of this moment right here. That punch, I was just like, God damn, that is pure cinema. When I first saw that punch, that was a big seller for me to really give Sun Jin-woo his props. So this is that's kind of like the only reason why I do love this scene. It's that punch. Now, my second most iconic favorite scene from SoloLevelingArise is kind of a given. Beru, the king of the ants. This is pretty much at the point where the deal has been done with Sun Jin-woo just coming to the end of it all, kind of putting Beru down a peg or two just to let him know that, you know, he ain't the king round here anymore. So, you know, the final blows being placed in, and just when Beru thought, yeah, I've got my minions to help me out, just a quick little arise from Tusk, or should I say Fang. If you've seen the anime, you know what I'm talking about. And just kind of blitz them all. Shows you the power of Sun Jin-woo's generals. I am the king. Yeah. When you're staring death in the face, it's best not to say that. And so, loved the Jeju Island scenes. And then lastly, you're damn right, I had to go with my boy Baron. I can't wait for this to air within the anime. I hope they do justice. I'm sure they will do justice. Low-key, the seasons for SoloLevelingArise and the episodes have moved with fire, so I'm expecting greatness. But to see how amazingly it's been done through the game itself, they've smashed it. I don't want to be that guy, but you know, SoloLevelingArise has kind of really done it so that, you know, the anime's got a lot to live up to, because yeah, game version of it, as you guys can see, it is so clean. Again, such an iconic scenes done by the game. Hazel's coming in, just kind of throwing her last sword, give Sun Jin-woo that upper hand. It's going to be amazing in terms of when the anime airs, this, like I said. But the game itself, in my opinion, did justice. Again, those power, I'm a sucker for like close combat, like those type of power punches. I'm just an absolute sucker for. And just like that, it seems Baron just completely evaporated. I don't know what to say. So yeah, That's dope. And then I guess in terms of the original story content that SoloLevelingArise, by far it has to be Alicia in terms of her story, the Justicia Guild, of course, and just the storyline of, you know, the murderous hunter, I guess, you know, killing the strongest, and just Alicia kind of going on the hunt, and then of course them traveling to Korea to gain their help and to furthermore investigate and track down the so-called murderer, of course. The storyline so far has really got me hooked. I don't know about you guys, but it just kind of also opens up more original storyline to come, and yeah, with Alicia's storyline just being kind of like a hook in terms of finding out on who this culprit is. It kind of, for me personally, it kind of excites me on, you know, the future original story, on what more they can cook up. You never know. There could be an original story to where someone's like, I don't want to say matching Sun Jin-woo's power, but like kind of, you know, give Sun Jin-woo a good fight. You know, you never know. Something like that could happen. But so yeah, those are like my favorite scenes. I would say the most iconic scenes I would say that the game has to offer. So, and again, there's more to come. So again, it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But here we are. This is my Suon, of course. Like I said, I've jumped the gun and given a little bit more of an investment. Purely because just to kind of play it safe if things go south with kind of here, of course, I've got my backup plan, I've got my plan B, who is looking to be my plan A, Suon, of course. So in terms of building her up, I guess we'll go for the gear side of things. This is kind of what I've decided to go with. Reason being is I'm just heavily going into the defense pen. I'm just catering to just kind of ignoring the enemy's defense. So 4 set for this. When attacking, the user ignores 80% of the target's defense. She's defense penning. I'm catering to bypassing the enemy's defense, and on top of that, I get the 5% attack. She scales off that, so it's kind of like picture perfect. You can go about doing the 4 curse set on the left side, and then on the right side, you can resort to running I don't know what it's called actually. I forgot the name of it. Let's have a look. Outstanding ability. So you can run that combination. So burning curse on the left, outstanding ability on the right. You can do, if you wanted to, or is it armed and with outstanding ability? That's also an option. Again, if you want to do burning curse on the left, then I think at that point you can do a full 8 set if you choose to. Again, commit to using the arm set if you choose to. In terms of the left hand side with the accessories, I think it will be outstanding ability, burning curse, executioner. I think those are going to be your choices in terms of what you want to use. And then when it comes to the right side, it really is, in my just personal opinion, either curse or armed set. So those are what I would suggest, but I've got these 2 applied onto the gear sets themselves. So yeah, those are pretty much the gear sets on what I would suggest. So once you've got your gears kind of squared away with your left and right hand side, in terms of stats or substats in particular, additional attack, obviously that's what she's scaling off from, so you want to kind of cater to that. And then from that point on, defense pen kind of be given. She's a defense penetration type character, that's the meta, so you want to make sure that her defense pen is up there. I think mine is currently at 45%, yeah, so there's that. Also with that, if you are going to be putting crit into her, you know, make sure that you are hitting the 50% mark at the very least. So that's something that you can also throw in there in terms of catering to the substats. If damage increase pulls up, if critical hit damage pulls up, then that's also fantastic to have. So just keep it high on the offense, but at the very least keep additional attack and defense pen high up on the priority. All right. So those are kind of like the substats. When it comes to boots, you could do critical hit damage or defense penetration. If you're going to be running workshop or brilliant light, and if your defense pen isn't high up there, then consider making it a main stat. I might actually run a different boot just to kind of buff up my defense penetration, but you can have double boots, whichever one you want. But yeah, I decided to go with critical hit damage with this one because we're looking at this stat. I just kind of want to damage increase +3. I mean, I'm probably going to do a defense penetration boot, and I think that is what I'm going to be committing to for the workshop brilliant light. But I just kind of wanted to throw that in there so you guys are aware, of course, when it comes to on what you should pick. Either or is fine, but I think defense penetration will be the more advisable one for the workshop brilliant light on hard mode. So main stats, substats, and gear sets. That's kind of, you know, Suon in a nutshell and what we're looking out for, of course. Core wise, with the main core, I would personally say lean more towards the attack. So this basically, and then again, if you can get attack and defense pen, that's going to be massive. So increase attack by 5. I went with this just because of yeah, when I do, I mean, you can use either or, that's completely fine. You know, if you've got a decent core that is within this where you do the ultimate, then you get an increase of crit rate damage with your basic skill by 20%, then you can do so. I just like to utilize the second skill since it's huge, it's massive. So my ultimate already does a great deal of damage, and then just leading it into getting that 20%, yeah, it just kind of piles on, hence why I decided to use this. So either or is fine, but I would lean more towards this. But if you want to run with this, that's also completely fine, of course. In terms of the new ones, don't really need to concern yourself on that one. This is also usable because yeah, because Suon thankfully works on a core attack mechanic, so you could, if you wanted to, maximize on this, but I would just play it safe and just get your 5%, or at the very least go with this core, or third on base would be the purple one if you have access to a legendary version of it with some good stats, of course. If not, yeah, first, second, that's going to be your best bet. The middle one, I go for shield play, since in terms of the characters with Suon, Gina and whatnot, there's a little bit of a shield play going on, so you can kind of maximize on that. I mean, again, either or is completely fine. If you do want to give her a little bit of damage reduction, you can also have that option, but I would lean more towards the shield play. I really wouldn't concern myself with the other two newest cores, of course. And then with the final one, I believe that again, there's a little bit more play around room, of course. I decided to go with yeah, the newest one. So when the user has 20% of their MP or less, they recover MP equal to 30% of the maximum MP. This effect activates 1 during combat, so that way I can keep up with that consistency of high amount of damage through the basic skills, of course. Hence why this is also pretty solid to have. You can also resort to, you know, when the user lands the basic skill, it can lean towards more getting your ultimate a lot sooner, so you can run with that too. That's also advisable. So I think that's kind of the two which I would lean towards. I don't think you need to concern yourself about. I mean, it's not too bad. Again, there's a little bit of a leeway on having universal choices, but if you wanted my personal opinion, it would be the one that I'm currently running right now, or this one right here with the helping out with the ultimate chase. So that's kind of like the cause on what I would suggest. Skills, your priority should be kill shot and perfect shot. This is a deadly combination as per usual. I mean, I decided to level 10 the ultimate, of course, but yeah, the trick shot is more of a buffer. Just want to clarify that. But yeah, these two should be your main priorities, and then your ultimate. So 1, 2, 3. As long as you got those cooking, then you should be absolutely fine. And then in terms of duping priority, at the very least, if you've got her to A1, then that's kind of like the sweet spot. Yeah, as long as you've got the A1, so that way you can maximize that second skill. That's exactly what you want. So as long as you've got an A1, you should be A-okay. But again, the more that you can apply onto her in terms of, you know, defense penetration increase, trick shot gives you that attack increase, hence why I call it a buffer. Yeah, you're just going to get more out of her. So A1, sweet spot, going furthermore on, just will help you out tremendously on making sure that she is battle ready for the new Workshop of Brilliant Light. So there's that. And then of course the weaponry. This will in general just give you defense penetration increase if you choose to dupe it out, so 12% increase right there, and then increases the core attack, kill shot and hellfire by 24%. So if you can, try your best to max it out at least a +5. I decided to go +10 because why not get the extra 15% for the attack, of course. But if you can max it out, those stats are going to be a huge add-on for Suon, of course. So yeah, that's kind of what Suon is looking like, on how you should really go about building her. This is more for just in preparations for the Workshop of Brilliant Light on hard mode, on tackling that, getting that done ASAP, and just yeah, making that fantastic defense penetration to completely obliterate that said boss for hard difficulty.